Good morning and welcome to the GCM Scale Garage here. As you can see, we've got this pile of trucks set out here and you're probably wondering what on earth we're supposed to be highlighting today. But as you can tell by the title, today's episode from the Scale Garage is body mounting. I get endless questions about how I'm going to mount my custom truck body to my frame and make it nice and hidden and strong and reliable and keep the body in the right position. So today's episode is 100% body mounting. I'm going to go through all kinds of different ideas on how you can do this and the pros and cons of each one. And some of these are as old as we've been building trucks and they work, and I'm going to prove it to you. The first thing we're going to talk about is a simple bracket, and the reason I'm skipping the obvious SCX body mounting pin is because everybody already knows how to do that. I'm not even going to talk about that. That's the simplest body mounting. And when all of you see all the GCM scale trucks, we don't have hood pins sticking through because, well, it's not scale. So we're going to start with a simple bracket. Now everybody knows how to do this because if you can figure out how to double up a pop can, you can make a simple bracket. Now this is our Jeep JK Raven Rumblebee. You can find the build threads on this truck called JK Raven on the GCM video channel. There's the picture of the bird here embossed in the hood. There's the Raven. So this one is our comp truck. This truck has hundreds of hours on it. Okay? This thing has been beaten and abused and rolled and swamped and everything you can think of. This truck has had it done to it, and as you can see, the body is still attached to the frame. So we're going to find out why it's so easy. Anybody can do this. If I can get the lighting to work here, cooperate, I want you to look down inside here in the fender. In there is a simple bracket. Right there. And it bolts onto the side of the frame here. Anybody can put 2 holes in their frame and a couple of screws and a couple of nuts on the back. There's a simple bracket. And if you follow the bracket down, it goes into this nut right here. And there's a nut on a set screw. See that bracket? It starts here at the frame with 2 holes and it goes down and it's bent in a corner. And then it's got a nut with a set screw. The set screw was glued into a plastic body post that was already part of this hard body. Don't cut those off, dudes. Those are really handy. So this set screw was glued into there. And now you can use this with a nut on top for a body mount. See the simple bracket right there? That is the simplest bracket ever. And there's another one in the back. There's another one right here. A little bent bracket. 90 degrees, just simple bend right here. It bolts through the floor of this custom body. Bolts through the back of the 2 bolts for the bumper mount. Done. There it is. Simple bracket. I don't know how to tell you guys how easy this is. It's a simple bracket. If you can't find a piece of material to use for a simple bracket, this is how you do it. You get a pop can. You cut up your pop can into a strip about 1 inch wide, a big long strip, and you fold it over and fold it over and fold it over and fold it over if you can't find a piece of material thick enough. And if you fold over a pop can 5 or 6 times and then bend it into an L bracket, it makes a perfect body mount. You put a couple holes here, a couple holes down there, and you bolt it onto your truck just like this right here. Simple bracket. That's it. This is super tough. And the proof is that this truck has been run for hundreds of hours and the body is still mounted on there just as solid as can be. And through all of its tumbles and everything, simple bracket. Guys, do that. If you can't figure out body mounting, do a simple bracket. Okay, that's the first one. Now, we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2 is using existing brackets that's on the truck and then adding a couple of screws. So this involves a couple of holes in the body. Now let's take a look at this bobbed Hilux we got here. It's cut off about 1.4 inch at the back. Nice short bed. This is our Needs Work Toyota box actually. It's in the middle of a huge rebuild. There's 2 holes in the bottom of the box right here that you can see. Those 2 holes match up to the shock tower that's on the frame. So when you put your stuff in the back of the bed, you can't see those. You can't see the screw heads. The screw heads are black. They blend right in. There's a bunch of junk in the box to take your eyes off it. This is so easy. So on the back of this truck, you can see we've got this flat bracket here. This is a piece of plastic that we found. You can use anything for this. You could have used a piece of cutting board for this. We drilled a couple holes in the sides here to make a shock tower out of it, right here. And on top, we drilled a couple of holes and we put our screws down through for the bed. And this became our back body mount. Okay? The screws are hidden. We just added screws to existing brackets. So that's number 2. Add screws to some existing brackets, and there you go. You don't even have to make anything. We already had this on the truck, so this was super easy. And there we go. That's number 2. Now, let me get this out of the way. Now, let's check. We're going to do a variation on number 2, which is actually, we'll call it number 3 because there's some new stuff here. And that's going to be on how we mounted the body onto our J2 skeleton chassis here with this brand new hard body. So, we're going to look at this first before we move on to the other stuff. Just because it involves some parts that are already made on the truck. So, let's see how we can work this out here. Now this body, obviously you understand what's going on here. You've been watching the skeleton build videos. So this body kind of clips onto the truck already because the way the shock towers are and the way the front of the body is mounted, the way the body sits on the frame, it all is kind of tight. If you look in the back here, the shocks and the shock towers fit right into this dimple in the back, and everything's kind of tight. But that doesn't mean the body is solid mounted. I mean, right now you can probably just about pick up the truck and there's no screws in it. But I want to show you what we did on the skeleton chassis to make this work with the J2 chassis and this hard body. These two together make a super easy combination. So, do you see any pins anywhere? No, of course not. Don't use pins sticking out of your truck with a bunch of clips on it, please. In the front, as you've seen from our previous videos, the radio tray on the skeleton, if you don't use the dual servo mount, the radio tray goes right to the front grille here. And you can also see that there's a screw hole there and another screw hole right there. Those two screw holes line up exactly with the grill screws on the body. Okay? We're going to use those for body mounting. I'm going to show you how in a minute. Out back, on the back of this truck, we've got these great bumpers on the back from RC 4-wheel drive. These bumpers are actually made for an SEX, but of course they fit right on the J2 and they fit right onto this JK hard body. I mean, it's a great combination, as you know. Now, the body comes with two holes. I'll show you. If I lift this up, you'll see it. There's a hole right there. There's a hole right there. And these two holes that are already in the body, they actually fall down behind the bumper. Now watch this when I put the body on. There. The body's down all the way to the shock towers. And you see there's a little bit of red material here at the bottom. This is actually the bottom of the body, and it's behind the bumper. So what we did to mount the back of the body, really simple, guys. On the back of the bumper here, we added a hole. Right there. You see it? There's a hole. There's another one right there. That was it. We added those two holes, and they go into the bumper, and then when you put the body on, there's the two holes here already matched up, and so you just run a screw through the back here, and they go into the bumper, and there you go. It's kind of a bracket add-on, kind of like number 3B. So it might seem like a simple thing, but all you got to do is add the screws here and on through the front body mount. And like I said, the front ones go right into these two posts right here on the JK body. So you take out these two grill screws, and then you run your screws from the bottom through that radio tray on the J2 right into these screw holes, and then the body's mounted forever. It's basically like having it on the yellow Jeep. Super tough combo. Okay, we'll get rid of these. Now we're going to move into a variation of body posts. You guys got to get creative here doing your scale truck mounts because there's so many options. I'm going to go through this one here now. This is our 410 build. It's of course the full leaf chassis from GCM. As you can see, it's leaf sprung front and rear. Such a simple truck. We just love riding on this thing. Now this body is a Lexan one-piece body, so super tough, lots of rigidity on it. And the body mounting doesn't have to be hood pins. I'm trying to get everybody to move away from hood pins or any kind of pin where it's exposed, okay? In this case, we used a variation of hood pins to put body mounts on this that are rock solid. Now you all have already seen the videos with this, and we've put the styrene drop bed in here. The bed actually drops right down onto the frame rail, so it's super low. And because the bed drops right on the frame rail, let me get you close up here. See how this sits right on the frame? Well, the body mounting idea we did here, which is a variation of a pin, we actually took a big old body mount piece of hardware that was in a plastic tree. We screwed it to the frame rail with a bolt and a nut, and we put it straight up into the box. Can you see where it is? Well, no, of course you can't see where it is because we covered it with scale accessories, because nobody wants to see a body clip in their box. So, these go into a hole in the bottom of the box, but the clip goes in through here, through this little crack right here. See the crack right there? So the clip goes in through there. It's really easy. Actually, let me just get a clip and show you how easy this is. Here's the body clip, the same one everybody always uses. You just push this down so it's a nice tight fit, and you fit the body clip in there. Can you see it? There it is. So now this frame is locked right onto the bed of the truck because we got the body clip and it's completely hidden. Take out the body clip, lift off the frame. There you go. Complete body and interior. The plug is right here ready to go to drop the lights on. Complete running truck with the inner fenders. All the guts are in the front. The battery goes on the front. Speed control receiver right up here on top of the tranny. There's the light controller so we can plug it in when we got the body on. And you see these two body posts right here? That's it, man. Nothing more holds that on. The rear bumper wraps around the body at the back, and the front bumper wraps around the body at the front. So that's just some simple custom built truck ideas. Real simple. Two body post variations used inside the bottom of the box. And this thing drops right on. It doesn't get any easier than this, guys. Look at that. That's it. Flip this over, drop in those two pins right here, like I was showing you, and there you go. You've got a scale truck, full body on it, never comes off with those two pins in there, and this thing's been driven a whole bunch, so you can see how the bumper wraps around the body here, and it contains the front and rear of the Lexan just perfect. So there you go, another great body tip number 4. Now, a variation of this idea is what we see here on this Joet's Custom RC truck. This is a whack job that he built years ago on a 410, and fantastic custom build. And you see right here, he was doing some brazing work. He did a bunch of brass bumper work, a bunch of beautiful brass work on the roof rack, and he used a simple aluminum bracket here between the frame rails, and then poked the trailer hitch all the way through for a clip at the bottom. So this whole thing, the body is actually sitting on the frame, but the trailer hitch here, which is screwed on the back, it poked it through this little frame bracket, and then you can add a clip on the back. So there's another idea. Let me show you that up close. There's the clip, and you see he poked it through the bracket. Let me take that out and show you. See how that sits right inside there? And it's locked right on. Once you take the clip out, you can pull the body back and lift it up, and in the front of this truck you'll see idea number 5, probably one of the most common ways of doing a body mount. So We got the pin variation here in the back from the custom bumper and the hitch. And up front is probably the most common custom body mount. It's an aluminum hoop that people bend and mount over the shock towers with a couple of screw holes. You just screw it right onto the shock tower in the front. Put a couple of big fat tabs of Velcro on there. You can glue a piece of styrene on the inside of the hood and then put a couple of Velcro tabs on the inside there. And surprisingly enough, as long as the body is already sitting pretty steady on the truck, this makes a pretty solid body mount. It's not necessarily the most accurate body mount, but this, for number 5, Velcro hoop and a shock tower loop. Guys, this is a bulletproof body mount. Works really, really well. And if you buy a good quality Velcro, it's tough. You know? There, we've got that mounted up back on there, and it's as simple as that. If you really have to get your truck body off and the screws or the actual solid mounted brackets aren't going to work for you in your build, doing a Velcro and a hoop in the front shock tower and some kind of a modified pin setup that's hidden in the back, something like this where the hitch fits right through the bracket. It's such a simple thing, guys. You just got to continue cracking your brain and using some creativity. And we encourage you guys to make use of any of these ideas you want. Send your comments in with more of your own personal ideas and shoot us some video links in your comments, and we're going to see if we can't just make this YouTube video section here on the body mounting just this huge big stack of everybody's body mounting ideas. Because, oh, of course, every one of these hard-working custom truck builds is worth a quality body mount. Go to it, guys, and we look forward to your comments and your suggestions. Peace out.